Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jackson Bast here with McKaylee Miller this week on the Spartan Up podcast. Mr. KP can't be with us this week, but that's not going to stop us from reviewing all MVU sports here today. McKaylee, let's run us down.
All right, well, today we're going to go over every sport pretty much because we've been going through and playing a bunch of games, a bunch of running, a bunch of hitting, and I don't know. I'm trying to think of the terminology in every sport, but there's really nothing.
You just need a bunch of verbs to figure out what action they're doing in these games.
Yeah.
What's your favorite verb to use to describe these things?
Kill.
Oh, and you're talking about volleyball, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, unless that's a thing in tennis.
It is not.
What's it called whenever you get a point in tennis?
A point.
Oh, okay.
It's a point set match.
Yeah, but today we're going to go over every sport pretty much. First, we're going to be talking about men's soccer. So, Jackson, can you tell us about how men's soccer went this week?
Yeah, so, men's soccer started on the road against the receiving boats, Northwestern Ohio, drew them 3-3. We're finally getting to see this team come into who they are. It was kind of a slower start. We struggled early in the season, but they captured a draw on the road. They went up to Lima, and then, of course, this past Saturday, we hosted a pair of soccer matches, both going in favor of MBU, but the men's, of course, took that last evening match 3-0. And McKaylee, I know you and I were pretty warned because that last match didn't even start till late.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we got out of there until about 11, maybe a little later than 11. But yeah, the women's game started a little later, so that pushed back the men's game. But I think that was a pro for us because we were able to warm up for a lot longer than the other team, and they were probably a little tight being on a bus all the way to here. So
You think it's a long trip from Canton, Missouri down?
no, it's only like 2 hours, but still, I mean, me sitting here just for 20 minutes, my knees start hurting.
It's just because you're old now, because you're a retired washed-up athlete.
That is true. I need to start doing something with my life.
And of course, it also super helped us when we got the whole weekend of wins with women's volleyball taking a pair of Hart Conference wins. And I was told that we were finally a fifth of the way through our conference slate already. We're still eyeing Sioux City that first week in December, but it's exciting, McKaylee, to see this volleyball team, of course, taking that first match 3-0 over Clark, and then their Saturday match versus Mount Mercy have a scare in that first set, losing 27-25. But then, of course, coming back to take the entire victory 3-1 after outscoring the opponent 75-40 in the final 3 sets of that match.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with them. I watched a little bit of volleyball last year, and I think they were doing somewhat just as good, but I mean, this year they are killing it. A bunch of the girls have already been hitting some huge milestones too. So that freshman setter, Valentina, she's already at 517 assists, which is an absurd amount of assists for a freshman already, but she's already making a huge difference. Same with Gabby and Alana. They're doing great. So
No, I mean, like you said, a lot of milestones. I saw it, and I'm quickly pulling it up. NAIWVB, NAI Volleyball Report, new handle. Shout out to the main man. But we sit at least a leader in all of the 3 categories between assist, blocks per set, and kills per set. Assists per set, Valentina Navarro, obviously. Kills per set, Gabby Agabowska clocking in at that 8 spot with 4.35 kills per set. And then, of course, Fernanda Perini being the wall that she is, averaging 1.33 blocks per set. I don't know if it's 1.33. What do you think? Is that plural or is that
I would
singular?
say, I would make it sound better.
Plurals?
Yeah, I would say.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're going into more conference matchups this week for volleyball. They're playing against Central Methodist on Wednesday at 7 p.m. They also play at Grandview on Friday at 7 p.m. So a few late night ones, but then back in the morning against William Penn on Saturday at 11 a.m. So moving on to women's soccer, over the past week, they lost to number 19 Cumberland University, but they were able to win their first game this season, however those words work, against Culver Stockton College for 2-0. So men's soccer was able to get a shutout as well as women's soccer. Gabby Wood was able to get a goal. Kyla Munoz was able to get a goal from Gabby Wood, from Casey Watson off of a corner kick.
And I know that there were a couple people who were confused. Addison Sopzak did not get a toe on that goal, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately, because that means Kyla Munoz got her first career goal here in her sophomore season. And the clean sheet for Jordan Marius, who had not seen nearly as much playing time this season at the hands of Hannah Miller. But, we're getting to see her kind of step out into her, I want to say her senior season. I could be wrong. She might be a junior.
I'm not sure. I think she's a senior. She plays as well as a senior.
Yeah, she had played well, got the clean sheet against the Wildcats. Exciting stuff. What's on the horizon for them, Mac?
Yeah, so they're playing against William Woods on Wednesday, yes, as well as the men's soccer. They're playing William Woods on Wednesday. Women's soccer starts at 5 p.m. Men's soccer starts at 7:30. And then they play Grandview, both teams on Saturday after the big football game Saturday. But women's soccer will start at 4 p.m. and men's soccer will start at 7.
Those are two matches that I'm actually pretty excited to see the result of. And the William Woods pair. Of course, William Woods being an AMC opponent of the Spartans for several years. And last year, that was the game that decided us to get into the AMC championship on the women's side. And then it's always a battle on the men's side. We've seen a couple matches from their side and our side going a couple different directions, but all in all, I'm excited. And we finally got to see Coach Goodyear's squad hit the courts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about tennis, but I know that men's tennis is 1-0, and that's a good thing for sure. They were able to win against UMSL 6-1, which I would assume that's pretty good in tennis.
Out of 7, yes, it's a.
Oh, perfect. It always goes to 7?
It's out of 7, like a best of 7. So a 6-1 is a pretty dominant victory in favor of UMSL. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the first win in program history over the Tritons.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know UMSL had a tennis team. But now I know that our men's team is doing pretty good. They play against Maryville University. I believe it's just a scrimmage for Thursday, September 18th. So we'll see how they do then. But moving on to women's tennis, it did not go in their favor as much as it did on the men's side. They lost 0-7, which is okay. I mean, you got to get that first loss out of the way and then move on from that. But they also won against Truman State University 5-2. I guess I'm adding up the math now. I mean, that's 7 points, 5-2, 7 points. So that makes sense. But yeah, they were able to get a win there, and then they also played Maryville University for the scrimmage on September 18th as well.
And as we roll into, the final couple of sports that we're going to talk about, women's golf finished 6th of 7 at the Missouri Valley College Fall Invite. And then the men will, it's been a minute. We did get to talk about how they performed at the Arch Cup during the last pod. And they'll play at the NAI Midwest Invitational. I believe that's today and tomorrow.
No, I think
Is it next week?
Yeah.
It's next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That's I think that St. Ambrose is going to host that tournament, but exciting stuff. The women won't compete for quite a bit, Mac.
Yeah, I don't think they compete until October 6th, so I believe that's 20 days away from here.
It is. And what is that contest? What's the significance of October 6th?
To me or to women's golf?
To women's golf.
Oh.
So we're hosting the
Oh,
event.
NBU. Yeah, I don't think have we ever hosted a
We host
Oh.
one every year.
That's so unfortunate that I did not know that. Where do we host this, Jackson?
This time we'll host it at Spencer T. Olin, but in the future we'll get to host it at Tapawingo,
Oh, I know
which
where that is.
you do know where that
I
is.
do.
It's a beautiful golf course. I got to go out there the other week, get some pictures. And man, like you said, I mean, it's a very, very pretty course.
Yeah, actually, funny story. One time I was there driving a golf cart with one of my friends because her dad worked there, driving the golf cart, and I ran over a sign and crashed this golf cart on Tapawingo's golf course.
Wow. Wow.
Just wanted to let you know.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're letting the viewers know. You know,
Yeah.
we're all about transparency here.
I think I was like 13 at the time, so I didn't know what I was doing, but I should know how to drive a golf cart.
Well, you know, honestly, I'm already a terrible driver, and I was much worse behind the wheel of a golf cart all summer. But then, of course, our football squad made the trip up to Iowa and fell 49-17, outscored the Vikings of Grandview 17-7 in the second half. If you want more in depth on what's going on there, go get a look at our MBU coaches show that was released on Monday for the week 3 as they preview the Heart Clash game of the week. Clash of the week, I think, is the more official name. Hearts Clash of the week. You know, we're gonna have several people, so this is kind of your call to action. Come on down. We would love to see you in the stands, MBU Nation. Mac, is there any other sports we need to talk about?
I think we're gonna get to cross country here in a moment, so we will be right back. Gonna take a short break here, and we will be back with the legendary Jerry McQueen. Welcome back. We are here with the legendary Jerry McQueen. How are you doing today, Jerry?
This legendary means old. I'm doing well, thank you.
Old? I don't think you're old, but I did have a quick question for you. I have truly thought that did you change your name to McQueen, or is that your true last name?
That's my true last name.
There's no way. That is why you are legendary, Jerry.
Well, it's not like lightning. It's more like Steve McQueen. You're that. And a lot of people don't know who Steve McQueen is.
I don't know who that is.
He's a great actor.
Oh, I know who Adam Sandler is.
Okay. Well, we're making progress, Matt.
Yep. Remember, I'm not the smartest crayon in the box, but yeah, so tell us a little bit about this week and how the past week went for you and some key standout runners. I was going to say players. Are they considered
Now, runners.
runners? Yeah.
You can call them runners. So anyway, good week. You know, had a couple weeks after we went down to Southeast Missouri and got it handed to us a little bit against some D1 schools, and we came back with a good 2 weeks of work, and we got a young group on the girls' side. Great leadership, and Adrian Rocket, senior, and we're just fortunate that you know, she's really embraced the leadership role with a bunch of freshmen coming in. So good couple weeks. Came back to Columbia, Larry Young Invitational at Columbia Gans Creek, and trying to keep our girls under the radar, but they didn't help me by winning that meet. Pretty excited for that. We were out without our number 3 runner, national qualifier from last year, Julia Wharton. We did not have her for that meet, and she's doing great and coming back. But to take away a win there, even though it's early and pretty much meaningless, looking down the road, it's still a good test for them, and they did well.
Yeah, so you know, it's a much different result than last year. Kind of take us through the race. You know, I'm sure there were moments where you were having to encourage your girls to push themselves a little bit when it came to the, you know, in the, like, you know, runners are some of the toughest athletes mentally, honestly, out there on the planet. So
I would say, yeah, mentally, and you know, to push them, I've got my new freshman, who Isabella Aimonette, was a great young lady. Ran for the St. Louis Blue Knights last year. Has got 1 year running experience. but she likes to run, take it in the lead. And I told her, hey, we just need to be really patient with this and not get out in the lead. Well, I think she still thinks I said step on the gas because that first 1,000 meters, she kind of left everybody in the dust. And I just kind of said, oh boy, I hope this ends well. And it did. She wound up second and led our team there. And then Adrian finished behind her in fourth. And then we had a freshman, Alyssa Collins out of Festus. And she was part of a state championship team with last year in the Missouri State Cross Country Championships. And she was really the glue that held the shoe together last year for their team. So we were excited to get her. And she wound up finishing 11th. And, extremely hot conditions, 96 degrees. And they were pretty, they were tested well, not only competition, but weather-wise.
Now, I know that you mentioned you definitely wanted to keep the ladies under wraps, but the name that everybody's talking about is Isabella Aimonette. She just received Heart Runner of the Week. I mean, what's her story, and what are you seeing at her early in her career?
Well, she's a very driven young lady. She's got untapped potential. If I can stay out of her way, she might do pretty good. So I think that she's adjusting to being part of a good team and realizes that she needs her teammates just as much as our teammates need her. And it's a transition period. And I think going back to Adrian Rocket's leadership, I mean, she's really embraced it. I had 2 national qualifiers with Julia Wharton coming back and Adrian being a national qualifier. To have those two embrace Izzy and Izzy to embrace them and get to know each other and feel comfortable with working out. And, you really got to hold Izzy back. And probably she does many things well. The one thing she doesn't do well that we're working on is recovery. She always wants to hammer it. I think our guys get a little nervous sometimes when they go on easy runs, and she's right there with them. So, we're working on that, and she's very teachable. She's good. You just don't know what you don't know. And college cross country and college running is a whole different. It's a whole different story than high school.
Yeah, I mean, at the Larry Young invite, so is there only like one event going on in cross country to where it's like a few miles you run or a 5K? How does that work?
Yeah, and cross country for the guy, there's 2 races, one guys and one women. And women run, now in NAI you'll run 6,000 meters, but because it's early, they ran 5,000 meters, and then everybody will run in that. And so all 13 of our girls ran in that race, and then we had the guys race at 8,000 meters, which is what the NAIA championships are, and they fared well too. So I thought they finished 4th and felt strong. You just we don't have the low stick right now that we need, that we do on the women's side. But our group, I look at our group for our guys at that race and 8,000 meters, and our spread between our first and fifth person was like 46 seconds.
Jeez.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So as I say, to roll into it, your men, like you said, finished 4th. And what were some of the key takeaways from that race on the men's side?
Well, I think kind of like last year. I mean, I think we was taken over. Right, my top 4 changed almost every meet. Nobody was always number 1. Nick, my returning, Alvin's on the sideline a little bit right now. We're nursing a little bit of an injury, and Grant Patton, my other national qualifier from last year, he's off to a good start. But really, Nick Furr, who came out of Kankaskia Junior College. They did not have track when he got there. Well, his first year last year, he was a little bit behind because he ran the Boston Marathon in April, and he was still recovering, trying to get him training. Now, to qualify for Boston is pretty special, and you're not going to tell a kid who's coming here, hey, I don't want you to run Boston, but it probably wasn't in his best interest. But boy, he's really made up time, and his leadership ability. And I'll tell you, leadership ability is something. One of the guys on my back end, probably are not the slowest guy on our team, is my best leader. And that's Zach Clute. And Zach has been outstanding. What I love about Zach, and he's dealing with clinicals with nursing and everything like that, so he's hit and miss. But he's really turned Nick and Grant under his wings and developed really good leadership. And so I always tell that I will take Zach wherever I'm going just because of his leadership and the young man that he is.
And something that you keep mentioning are the intangibles out of your guys and your gals. And I've talked to you several times telling you that if I could pick any team, I'm over 300 pounds. You're not going to see me finish a 5K, but honestly, like, you do such a great job of fostering the culture that prepares these young men and women for life. What what's kind of your whole deal with that?
The whole deal. Wow. We probably don't have enough time for that or people that interested in it. I surround myself with people that are good, and I know my weaknesses, and there's many of them. And if you put other people around them and you recruit well, and our assistant coach Gracie Capalla has been huge on the women's side. Just the young lady that she is and mission fit. That our young ladies, they really gravitate to her. And Coach Trey's done a great job with our guys. So when you put people around it, and we got a whole different mindset in our whole athletic administration, and I think that's good. I don't sell our program. When we have athletes come in, recruits, I have them go with our kids on our team, and they sell the program. All I am is I get a front row spot and I get to cheer them on, and I try to recruit and vet the kids I bring in. When I go to a meet, I watch very little of the race. I watch them warm up with their teammates. I watch them cool down with their teammates. I watch them interact with their family and friends afterwards. And then if that kid recruit comes on campus and they go to lunch with a couple of our kids, and I ask them, hey, how'd it go? And if my athletes are like, hey, coach, I don't think they're going to fit into the fabric of what we're, mission fit team. And well, listen, I just don't recruit Christian kids, but I recruit good kids. And I realize that we're a mission field and that we bring good kids in here and hopefully they're the gospel, and, just treat each other with respect and be kind.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think having a team that fosters that family type of energy is something that's so important, especially for cross country, because I can't even imagine. I mean, running is hard. Running is a hard task. I don't know if they think that cross country is hard, but to me, maybe to Jackson as well, maybe to you, Jerry, running is hard. So having having a family and people to lean on is something that's so important, and that was something that I looked for when I was looking to play sports in college, was a team that really admired the friendships that were around and able to bond with those people is so important.
Yeah, Mac, I think you're right. I think a lot of things you've got to create an environment that's healthy for kids. I think you got to create you want to really encourage growth in three areas. I think spiritually, physically, and emotionally. And if you're beating up on each other every day, or you're grinding on each other, or I'm grinding on them, it's only gonna work for so long. You really got to go ahead and make sure they feel valued, and not that their performance you know, is going to be their value isn't conditional on their performance. I guess that's what I would say is, hey, they all want to run well. They all work hard, and the big key is, what do you do? Everybody works hard those 2 hours of practice. What do you do the 22 hours away from here? And when you got a group of kids that say, hey, we got to take care of ourselves. We got to go down. Our athletic training for people with William is outstanding. He's taught our kids how to recover well. And I think that is one of the keys. And when you encourage that or look at that, we're just in a good spot, And again, we got great kids, and it makes my job easier. And it's just fun to be there every day with these guys and see them grow. And they come like your kids. Everybody said, "Man, you're old." I'm kind of like their grandpa. I mean, it's like, and running is hard. It's harder now that I'm old and overweight, and people think I was a shot putter and not a distance runner or tower. So anyway, but no, it's every day is fun, and that's what it's all about.
Awesome. Well, we're going to wrap this up with one more question. If you were not coaching here at MBU, what would you be doing?
Wow. What would I be doing? I'm fortunate because I I've always wanted to be in law enforcement. I was a police officer for 4 years. I was a fire department for 34 years. This was my retirement job. Everybody else that I know that I worked with there has living that's retired, living have lake homes and live on golf courses. I get to go to rural areas and watch kids run. So I don't know. I probably spend a little bit more time with my grandkids as you get older. And Mac, you and Jackson, you guys are young, man. You don't get it, but you got to have a passion and a purpose. And wherever the Lord puts me for have that passion and purpose that's where I'll be. There's no sense of retiring.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. We are going to wrap things up here. We will be right back after this short break.
And we're back here to wrap up the podcast. And we talk always about what we are most excited for this week. McKaylee, what are you most excited for?
I'm most excited for women's soccer. I am really excited for them to keep that momentum going off of that win against Culver Stockton. And they play another conference game on Wednesday, and then they play Grandview's in the Heart, right?
Yep.
Yep. So then they play again another conference game on Saturday. So I'm just hoping we can get a win all the way around, men's and women's soccer, hopefully keep the momentum going and have a successful day Wednesday and especially Saturday.
Yeah. And I can definitely say that I can echo the sentiment. I'm excited to see our soccer teams go out and whoop some tail. I'm actually excited for two things this week. Number one, women's volleyball, Central Methodist, SRC,
You're only allowed to be excited for one thing.
7 p.m. Canes Challenge,
What do we get if we win?
a
From-
buy one, get one box combo.
Oh my gosh.
So all I'm saying is I kind of need women's volleyball to bring down the hammer, but I also need you guys, if you're checking into the pod and you're in the St. Louis area, come pack the petty. We're looking to get it rowdy in there. I don't know quite yet if there's a theme, so please keep on looking at our socials, and I'm sure we will release it. And then, of course, I'm very excited for Heart Clash of the Week. Men's football takes on Graceland University. Graceland University coming off a tough loss as well to the number 14 Benedictine. And this will be a shootout. Like Coach said, on the coaches show, we went up to their place. We went up to Lamani, Iowa last season and took the dub. Went into their house. We're losing late, came back, won it, and they're looking for some revenge. So I'm excited to have everybody out here for the Graceland Clash of the Week.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch football this Saturday as well because they're playing at 11 a.m. So I'm curious to see how their technique changes with the time because I know that affects a few teams. But I'm not going to name names.
I would be interested to see if the play calling changes because we're playing at 11 and not 7. But you know what?
It's all for the good. Like
It's all-
every we just always win no matter the time of day. I'd probably
That's-
just fix it. Oops.
Well, you guys all can come check that one out because it'll also be at Spartan Field, like she said, at 11 a.m. We will have the college game day show, which, the Clash of the Week. They do a pregame show. I think it'll be teed off around the 9:30. Come tailgate. Come enjoy your mornings. Be a part of the Spartan Walk. And like I said, McKinley, I'm excited. And I know we've got a couple other matches slated up for that evening.
Yep, it's going to be fun. Well, thank you for tuning in for the Spartan Up podcast with Jackson and Mac. KP was not here today, but he will be back next week sometime. But thank you for listening, and we hope to have you guys tune in next week.